Listen up. Be you. You got this. I said it before and I'll say it again. Keto rock stars, stay strong. Be you. Bacon, beef, butter. Keto rock stars. Keto rock stars. Keto rock stars. Keto on, stay strong. Be you. Keto rock stars.
Rock stars to this Thursday motivation episode. I hope you all can hear me okay. Let's say hi to a few people. Right now we've got Coach Angela Mullins. Hi, welcome Angela. I promise you I'm going to send you an email with some additional dates for an upcoming topic. We're going to talk about EDS, which Angela currently has and is very knowledgeable about that. I'm also going to include Evelyn Beatty on that because she also has EDS. And we have Thomas, Target Prime Ribs in the house. Welcome, Thomas. Thanks for tuning in. We have Maritza. Hi, Maritza. I believe you're in Vegas, right? I'm going to be in Vegas for a wedding on May 8th, 9th, and 10th. So, hello. Tammy says, hello all. How are you today? Welcome, Tammy. Sandy telling Thomas hi. Yes, Maritza is in Vegas. I remembered that. Yes. My sister and my nephew live in Vegas. And so my nephew's getting married in May, so I'll be flying out there in just less than a month. Lynn, 22 Cute Cat is in the house. Thanks for tuning in. Lynn, I saw your pictures with you and Rick. Those were awesome. I'm so happy. Okay, everybody. What's going on today? So, what is going on with me today is I got my CAC scan results. I'm not going to talk about those here because I am working on a video for that, which I will hopefully film today and complete that video. Get that uploaded so you all, I know some of you are dying to know what my CAC scan results were. So we'll go over that. Donna Ray, Bacon Runners in the house. How are those planks going, Donna Ray? Hope they are going well. Let's see. Everybody's still saying hi to everyone. So today I'm going to do 30 minutes on the treadmill. We're back out in the Rockin Four Season room. I'm going to do 30 minutes on the treadmill. And then we will see. Oh, I also want to check to see if we're streaming to Facebook. We should be streaming to Facebook and Rumble. I don't know if it's going to Facebook. Hopefully it is. Trying to check here. Maybe not. It says I'm live on Facebook. So here we are. We are live on Facebook. And I'll try to be checking the comments there. Hello, everyone that's on Facebook and also Rumble. Thank you for tuning in. I am on my lunch hour from my day job, which has been quite busy this week. So some of you have reached out to make sure everything's going okay. It's just I've been very busy at work, my day job, and then very busy in the after hours too. And yet, Target Prime Rib Thomas said you are on Facebook. Awesome. For some reason, sometimes that hasn't been working. So welcome if you're watching from Facebook. Thank you for tuning in for Amy's Lunchtime Motivation. Maritza just answered one of the questions I was going to ask you guys. What are you all eating today? What are you having for breakfast, lunch, dinner? Maritza says, I just finished eating my breakfast, 3 eggs and chorizo. That sounds amazing. And Angela answered the question too. She's been fasting for 63 hours so far. That is awesome, Angela. Hope you're feeling good with that. Maritza says butter and coffee. And Lynn says we're happy too. And I can't wait to meet the both of you at Keto Palooza this year, Lynn. Very excited about that. Yeah, Lynn, Donna Ray is killing it with the workouts, but she's already in shape. So whether you're in shape or not in shape, or you want to get in shape, The goal of my Thursday motivations is to inspire some of you to, all of you actually, really, to get moving. And it doesn't have to be, you see me, I'm not running. I'm walking at a good pace. I'm getting the blood flowing. And then today I'm not doing a plank. Today I'm going to try something different. I have some other goals I want to do. Now, funny, I just brought up the plank because a couple days ago, I tried to do a plank, but I didn't have my yoga mat down and I couldn't even do it for a couple seconds. And I think it was because the hard floor was just too hard for me to try to do it. So I will try it again, not today on camera, but I'm going to continue on with the planks because those are really good for you. Oh my gosh. Juliet says, do a handstand. It's funny you mention that because when I played volleyball, we used to do handstands, and I used to be able to walk the entire length of the volleyball court on my hands in a handstand position. Wouldn't it be nice to be able to do that again? Sandy says, 4 slices of fresh cut bacon with over easy eggs. Yum. And I haven't eaten yet. So I've been drinking black coffee all morning. I have not eaten yet. I will probably eat right after this when I go back to work. But I did get hungry a little bit ago, and I'm like, no, I don't want to eat right before I get on the treadmill. Ricky Lee Carnivore's in the house. He says, I must need the Facebook app to see your live. Don't see it without the app. Interesting. And Ricky Lee is having a pizza bowl for brunch. That sounds amazing. Pepperoni with horseradish cheddar. I love horseradish. I have not had horseradish in a very long time, but I am a horseradish girl. And Karen, Low Carb Spins here. Welcome, Karen. Thank you for tuning in. Angela says, I tried to do a plank the other night, but had on my slippery grounding shoes. That was a mistake. Yeah, so I have that yoga mat, and I'll post a link in the description which yoga mat I had. I just bought an Amazon basic yoga mat, and I had to put that down when I do any kind of exercise on the floor. Juliet says, I believe it. You can do what you put your mind to, Amy. Maybe, if I keep working out. Another thing I want to really do is be able to do a pull-up. I've never done a pull-up. I can't do a push-up right now, but one of the things I'm going to do today is show you how you can modify push-ups so that you can start doing them. If you're like me and you're not strong enough to do a regular push-up on the floor, I'm going to show you how to modify them. Everyone's saying hi. And Karen says, you held the plank longer than I could. Work in progress. Exactly. So I'm going to keep doing that because the last time I did a plank was like 10 years ago, and I held it for 8 minutes. And I was obese, right? So, yay. Thank you, Ricky Lee. He said, Keto Rock Stars, Rockin Coach Amy gift memberships. Thank you. We appreciate that support. Yay! And there's the ding, ding, ding. Ricky Lee Carnivore. Thank you. Carnivore Muscle. Jonathan. Hi, Jonathan. Welcome. Yes. So, Thomas, that's actually what I'm going to do is an incline push-up, and I'm going to show you how to do that. Ricky Lee just gifted himself a membership. That's hilarious. I don't think you can control who gets them, but thank you for doing that. That's awesome. Oh, Ricky Lee received a gift membership from himself. Thank you so much. Yay. Okay, so I'm going to continue to do the planks. I don't think I'm going to do one today. I got to work on those a little bit off screen so that I can try to work up to a new goal. But today we're going to work on sit-ups and push-ups, right? Strengthening his core. Hey, Brian. Brian is watching from Facebook. Thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate you watching. Juliet says, yeah, you can't control who gets them. That is so funny. Exactly. And thank you, Maritza. Maritza says hit that like button for me, please. Ricky's just laughing. Yay! Andy, my lady Laugh-A-Lot. Hey, Andy, look what I'm drinking out of. The mug you gave me, my friendship mug. Thank you. I have some water in here, just in case I get thirsty. Lynn says, I tried to do a pull-up a couple days ago, and nope, it wasn't happening. I'm not 30 anymore. I have never been able to do a pull-up. Even when I was in tip-top shape in volleyball, I couldn't do one. Sandy says, Ricky got rewarded for being kind. He sure did. And Andy is running around but listening. Thank you for tuning in. Janet Reed. Janet Reed's in the house. Welcome, Janet. Thank you for tuning in. She's watching over on Facebook. So we are doing a Thursday motivation. I have these little bands here on the arms of my treadmill. And by the way, you do not have to buy an expensive treadmill. I bought this one used off of a friend for a couple $100 like 10, 15 years ago. Okay. You can get a walking pad. This is a Nordic Track, which I believe is very expensive back in the day. You can go outside and walk. Now, I like having this because this 4-season room is heated and air conditioned. And I can use this in the winter, even though it's, I have to turn the heat or the AC on out here. But you can also use these bands the opposite direction and work your arms. Okay, get those arms muscles moving. Brian says hi over here. So Brian's on Facebook and YouTube. Thank you, Brian, for tuning in. Sandy's telling Julia and Doug hello. I didn't really write down a lot of topics to talk about. Oh, did I start my little... I don't think I started my little activity. I don't know how long. We'll go till noon. We'll go till noon on this because I started the walking right when the live started. So we will go till noon. And my Apple Watch is only going to say I walked for 15 minutes. That's okay. I'm feeling like energized and I'm getting movement. And I've been working out here all morning, which is nice. Peter's in the house. Pretzel Pete. He likes posting those pretzels so they float all over the screen. I heard a rumor, Pete. I heard a rumor that you are now Pretzel Pete and Pretzels and Beer Pete. I heard occasionally you like to drink a beer. Is that the truth? Tell us in the comments. Fess up. Aw. Everyone tell them, Peter, hi. Thank you for tuning in. It wouldn't be a live stream without our Papa Carnivore, right? Yep. He says hi to Amy and all the pretzels loves out there. Okay, QQQ, what kind of treadmill is this? I believe this is a Nordic Track iFit. It is very old. Parts of it are starting to even show signs of rust. But this is like, I got this used from a friend for $200 like 15 years ago. So you can look in like Marketplace, you can look, try to buy a used one. I'm sure Nordic Track sells it for like thousands of dollars, right? But you don't have to spend thousands of dollars to get in shape. They also have these walking pads that are like less. Oh, this is a Nordic Track EXP 2000XI. It says right down here. Nordic Track EXP 2000XI, and it really is great because it's lasted probably 25 years. I don't know how long the person who sold it to me had it before I bought it. Sherilyn's on. Good morning. Checking in between walks this morning. Have a great day. Thanks for tuning in, Sherilyn. Glad you're going for walks. And I will reach out to you about doing an interview, Sherilyn. I got your message. Yesterday was just very busy. Yes, Brian. Thank you, Amy. That's wonderful. Peter says, but I only had 5 eggs. Oh, so wait, Pete, let's go back up. Peter says, Amy, I did have a few beers last night as I went to a rock concert. No worries on that, Peter. Everybody's different. My husband likes to have a few beers now and again. So no judgment here. Don't call the keto police on this channel. Sandy says, yeah, Peter, but you didn't get that burger. Absolutely. And then Peter says, I only had 5 eggs fried in butter with Icelandic cod livers for breakfast, so I didn't eat anything until midnight when I got home and had a chicken leg quarter. Amazing. So my story this week, Tuesday, for those of you in the Kilts group, I did a presentation in the Kilts group on fatty liver. And then after that, I had a client. So by the time, and it's supposed to be a free 30-minute call, but sometimes I'm very generous and I go past 30 minutes, especially if the conversation is good. So it was like an hour. So by the time I got off, I hadn't had dinner and it was 10 o'clock and I really was hungry. So I had a little bit of the leftover pot roast at 10 o'clock, which I don't like eating that late. But when you're very, very busy, sometimes that's what happens. Risa, hi Risa, good morning, all popping in for a few minutes while I get my food together for work. Well, thank you for stopping by, Risa. Peter says, no, Sandy, I walked up to the hamburger food truck before the concert, smelled the burgers and fried and decided not to eat it. Good for you, Peter. Thomas says, sugars are high today, 218. I think I'm adjusting some things. Yeah, and you've been under a little bit of stress, Thomas, so that could probably affect your blood sugars too. And Peter says, I got what you meant, Peter, yes. Decided not to eat it. So what's everybody else eating today? What are you eating today? I'm probably going to have more hamburgers because my husband likes the rotisserie chickens, but I try not to eat the rotisserie chickens because of the gluten that they inject in them. I'm a little too sensitive for that, but he's doing it. So he's going to eat rotisserie chicken. I'm going to have hamburgers probably for dinner. And hi, Rick Twidbrook Acres. Welcome. So glad you're here. And my good friend Kurt, meathead for life in the house, and he says burp. I guess that's his entrance signal. Are you getting ready for work today, Kurt? You're looking so good, by the way. I barely recognized you. I think you were on Carnivore Talk a couple weeks ago. Sandy says, I'm having a New York strip tonight. That sounds so delicious. Oh, actually, I may have to eat a little early or a little late because tonight is grocery shopping night. Kurt has doctor's appointments. And Risa says, I'm going to have fried hard-boiled eggs and bacon for breakfast and keto bread with cold cuts and mayo for lunch. Still have to figure out dinner. So I've given away some ingredients because some of you know I have a family member going through some issues. I'm not going to go into it because it's really not my story to tell, but this person does attend my live streams, so I'll let them tell their story. But I gave away my avocado mayo. I gave away low sugar ketchup, which I really don't use anymore. My husband uses it sparingly, but I don't use it. So I gave away a couple cans of sardines. See what else. But tonight I'm going shopping and I'm going to pick up a few things for this family member to help get them on the right path. No, Karen, I am not revealing my CAC score in this live stream. I'm going to record a video and go through it a little bit more in depth. There's some interesting stuff on there. Not all good, not all bad. Okay, that's all I'm going to say about that. But I will record that in a separate video. I'm hoping to work on that tonight after I get home from grocery shopping. But all of the stress I've been under the last couple days, I've just wanted to crash when I got home. I've just wanted to crawl into bed. And essentially that's what I've done, is just crawled into bed, right? And Sandy says, love Kurt. Yes, we love Kurt. Kurt says, I had 2 pounds of New York strip yesterday. And then Kurt also says, showering but listening. 2 pounds of New York strip sounds amazing, Kurt. I'm hungry right now. Peter says, Sandy, I've got big juicy ribeye for dinner tonight. I'm going to sear it in my vintage. I have a Griswold cast iron skillet too from my aunt. Tallow, very rare center, and add Malden smoked sea salt and cold butter chunks. That sounds amazing. And Sandy says, just my eyes, my eyes. That's funny. And Helix is watching. Hi, Helix. Welcome. Thank you for tuning in. And Brian just became a member. Thank you. I appreciate you. Peter says, Thomas, it's very logical that the blood sugars will be more high and low, higher peaks and lower lows when you go off plan a bit. But that will change fairly quickly as you go back on plan. And Peter would know because he was, if he wasn't diabetic, he was like very close to it. I will say that's one thing I was never diagnosed with, although I have the feeling that myself, I was probably pretty close to being pre-diabetic when I was almost 300 pounds. Peter says, Kurt, I love New York strip. And my favorite, it's my favorite, and also T-bones. My favorite's ribeyes. I used to go get, what's that called? Prime rib. What am I trying to think of? Yeah, I used to go to the restaurant and get prime rib. And then one of the waitresses talked me into getting a ribeye, which is pretty much the same cut of meat, just cooked differently. And ever since then, I've just loved ribeyes. Looks like we got 12 watching. Let me know if there's more than that. 13 watching. Thank you all for tuning in. And that's just on YouTube. That's not counting the Facebook watchers. And I haven't even checked Rumble. So if you're tuning in from Rumble, I really appreciate you. Okay, Peter does say I was type 2 diabetic, but not for anywhere as many years as Thomas. His healing will be a lot slower and take some more time. But Thomas is very patient. Yes, he is. Yes, he is for sure. Time is it? I got 8 minutes on here, and then we're going to go try some different exercises. So don't laugh at me if I can't do them. But I really want to start strengthening, getting my body in shape, movement. I've also been working on breathing exercises. I'll go into this a little bit more when I get to the CAC video, but I've noticed I'm a singer, and I've noticed that when I've been singing lately, I haven't been able to sustain breaths through musical phrases as good as I could. But I ordered a spirometer. I've been doing some breathing exercises. I looked at DC's breathing exercises, but some of his are really complicated. And right now I'm just doing basic ones. I'll go back to his, but the other day when I was listening to them through my earbud, I really couldn't understand them. So those I'm going to have to just sit and do them when I'm doing the video. I have some basic breathing exercises that are very easy for singers and for expanding the lung capacity. But I will go through all of that when I do my CAC score video. And also exercise, movement, walking. You know, if you sprint, that's good for it. I'm not a sprinter. Angela says, my keto mojo freaked out today when my glucose was 67 and my ketones 2.8. Said low glucose, that is nothing for me. Mine's gotten down in the 50s, like 55 or 58 or something. And I think, you know, that's when I was fasting like you, like 2 days into fasting. I think that's perfectly fine. Yes, Sandy, I've been going through DC's videos, and his are on my list to work through. The very first one I watched, and he has a playlist on breathing. The very first one I watched, there was just a lot he was doing, so I got to go back to that. Brian says, I do DDPY chair to stand. I don't know what DDPY means, but that's another exercise I want to do is like chair squats, especially because my left hip is weak from all the surgeries. And that's one of the things they had me do when I was in therapy. I'm almost done. I got 5 minutes. 5 minutes, guys, and then we're going to move into the other room. I have to be kind of quiet, though, because husband's taking a nap now. So hopefully you'll all be able to hear me. And then we'll finish out the hour in here. Peter says, Angela, that's why I have never measured my ketones or blood sugar. I just eat fatty meat, eggs, butter, seafood, and do intermittent fasting. Too mad and no man. And you know, Peter, for 8 years, I never tested my blood. I never peed on a ketone stick. I never did any of that. But then when I became a coach, I'm like, I really need to understand this because for some people, it might be a beneficial metric. And Julia had an extra Keto Mojo, so I got that from her. And I don't test all the time, but I do test occasionally just to kind of learn, you know, if I eat something, it's a good tool to see how it affects your blood sugar. But for 8 years, I never tested my blood, never peed on a stick, never did any of that. Thomas says, sorry, I had to leave to do some dishes. Thank you. We're glad you're back, Thomas. Oh, okay. Brian says it's Diamond Dallas Page Yoga. It's wonderful. I will check that out for sure. Thank you. Okay. Got a couple more minutes. So one of the things that I'm starting, because a couple of people asked about this, not only do I do one-on-one coaching, but I'm also starting a group coaching. And it's going to start this Saturday. For now, it's probably going to be 2 group coaching sessions a month. If there is a demand for more, I'll increase that. But I have to do it based on my schedule. So that will be Saturday morning. If anyone's interested in that, please reach out. It's Amy Davis at harmonyhealthandlifestyle.com. And I think, or you can just email me at ketorockstars21@gmail.com. And I'll send you the information about that. Oh, Peter's so sweet. He says, I'm so proud of you, Thomas. You're doing great. Keep the faith, okay? I've fallen off plan many times too. Just keep going. It's all learning experience. And that is true. And I think people like Thomas and I, if we go off plan, we probably feel terrible, right? So whether it's our body, whether it's our anxiety or depression. So just do the best that you can and try to stay on plan as much as possible, and that will keep things regulated. Peter says, I went to Aldi today, and again, second week in a row, didn't buy any berries, just got the whole milk yogurt, eggs, cream, butter, meat. That's a win, Peter. For sure. All right, taking a couple of deep breaths. Oh, guess what? Time to stop. Woo! Okay, folks. Let me take a sip of water. I hear sound here somewhere. All right, I'm going to grab my iPad. Whew. Okay, I'm going to grab the iPad, and then we're going to go into the other room. So let me switch the camera. Okay, can you all see that? Oh no. I have to kind of be quiet because hubby's sleeping. So hopefully you can hear me. Oh, there's a kitty. I almost just tripped on a cat. Okay. All right, here we go. The first thing that I'm going to attempt to do, let me get down here. I'm having some joint pain today. Hopefully you all can see me. All right, let me just take a quick break, make sure you all can see me. I've got my feet under the couch here, and I'm going to attempt to do some sit-ups. I do not yet know how many sit-ups that I can do. So we're going to find out. I did practice the other day. So we're going to see how many I can do. And I don't know if my form is going to be good or not, but we're going to attempt. So I'm going to have them, my knees bent at an angle. I'm going to come good. Ready, guys? Help me count. I don't know if I'm going to do full sit-ups or just what are those called, crunches, but we're going to try to do some sit-ups here. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, I got 10 done. I'm going to try to do another set of 10. Let's read some comments. I'm going to take a quick break. And Angela says, I've been doing sit-ups most mornings lately. Yes, Thomas, why focus on any attention to naysayers who are negative? Focus on the positive folks like me, Amy, Sandy, Aaron, Gary, and Kurt. Exactly. Next month in 3 years on carnivore, for me, type 2 diabetes is defeated. That is awesome. And Sandy says, I can't even get on the floor. I don't know if you see Kitty. Come here. Come here, Zeus. He's like, nope, I don't want to be on camera. I've got some hiccups or something going on. Okay, we're going to do another set of 10. Ready? Here we go. Remember, guys, I'm pretty out of shape. I've been doing some walking and some movement, but these exercises are new to me. So let's go. 1, 2, 3, 6, 7. More. I did it. The last 2 or 3 were really hard. Okay, I'm gonna relax for a minute. Hopefully you guys can see me. Ooh. Thomas says, working today from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. Ricky Lee says, next month is, yeah, I already read that one. Okay. Peter says, Ricky Lee, love my bacons and eggs. Me too. Ricky Lee says, I'm now officially off BP meds too. My BP was high enough earlier, 158/80. Exactly. Okay, Angela makes a good point. I did not lock my hands. I just placed them on the back of my head. So I did not lock. She says, can't really see, but don't lock your hands behind your neck and put strain on your neck. I was just placing them behind my head. So Thomas says, I can't do sit up hard on my spine. So proud of you, Amy. I, in the past, have had a bad back, but it's getting better. Okay, we are going to now move over to the steps. And this is going to be, let me move my chair out of the way. Move my chair out of the way. And we are going to move the camera, right? I don't know if you guys can see this. Okay, I'm still catching my breath. I don't know how many push-ups I'm going to be able to do just because these are harder for me. Gotta do a camera check. Oh, my hair is like all messed up now. It's okay. That. Oh, hold on. I got a major problem going on with my hair. Okay, so these are the steps. I'm going to move this back a little bit so hopefully you can see them. Oh no, I got my hair caught in my little hair thing. So, okay. All right, I'm gonna attempt to do some push-ups here. I may have to put this over here. Hopefully you guys can see this a little better here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to put my hands on and I'm gonna start at a high step. I think I'm gonna start 4 steps up. Probably can't see this very well. Let me move this over. I'm gonna start 4 steps up, right? And I'm gonna place my hands on here and then I'm gonna walk my legs back a little bit. Hopefully you guys can see this. What we're gonna attempt to do, let me turn on the hall light too so you guys can see me. I'm gonna attempt to do 10 push-ups. Ready? This is even hard. 2, 3, 1. My upper body is so weak. 6, 7, 8. Oh my gosh, 9. Gotta try to do one more. 10. Okay, that's all I'm gonna try of that, guys. Hopefully you saw that. Oh, you didn't. So essentially, let me move this up so you can see what I was doing. Essentially, I was placing my hands here and going down. Okay, next time I do those, I'll try to make them so that you guys can see. Okay? But it's very hard for me to check my cameras when I'm doing this. So basically, the higher the incline, the better it is, okay? Oh my gosh. Okay, I'll make this so you guys can see me a little better. That was, okay, those push-ups were hard. Oh my gosh. Okay, Ricky Lee says we saw it. Oh my gosh, I'm going to end my workout. So the push-ups were a lot harder than they were the other day when I tried to do them. All right, let me go through some of the comments here. Oh, let me scroll down a little bit. Bye, Tammy. Thank you for tuning in. Lynn says she tried to do a pull-up a couple days ago. It wasn't happening. I'm not 30 anymore. Trying to catch those. Okay, I tried those push-ups the other day and they seemed easy. If you don't have stairs in your dwelling place, you could always do counter push-ups too. So lean against the counter and push up this way or the wall. The stairs are a lot harder, I think. Okay, hold on. Let me get caught up here. Oh, I can hear myself through my headphones. Hopefully you guys can't hear that. Trying to get to where I was. All right. No choice, Sandy, but thank you. Thomas says. Yeah, Thomas says, with people like you, Peter, I will just have to keep negative out of my brain. And that's all you can do. You know, especially on social media, Thomas, we're going to get negative people. No matter how good of a person we are, or nice, or sweet, or whatever, we're going to get negative people. Some people aren't happy until they are messing with people. So there's nothing really, okay, and here's a good point. Let me get this out of the way real quick. And then I'm going to talk about this because let me change this. And we're going to move this up here. Okay. So we can't control other people's actions. We cannot control other people's actions, but there's one person's actions and mindset that we can control, and that is ourselves. So we can control how we react to other people. People are going to continue to be negative towards us. Like I said, no matter how nice or sweet you are. So the one thing that I would do is when someone says or does something that bothers you, I would write down a series of positive affirmations in a notebook, right? Or maybe print them out and hang them on the wall. And when someone says something that bothers you, then you could go to those positive affirmations and read them over and over again, right? And maybe do some breathing exercises to calm your vagus nerve and your stress down. And then read through those affirmations, positive things about yourself, because we can't make those people stop doing this, right? But we can control how we feel. So that's my recommendation. And Ricky Lee says, Thomas, you got this. Try cutting back on the bacon and eggs and do mostly beef. And he's talking about the food. I read that one. Thomas says, yes, Ricky Lee. Just have about 8 eggs and 6 chicken wings and left and some bacon, but the rest is beef. That looks so good, Thomas. I saw your video. Yes, Ricky Lee's telling everybody hello. I saw some hellos when I went chat-free mode on the TV. Well, we're just glad you're with us watching. Thank you. Yeah, I addressed this too. I was not locking my hands. I was just placing them on the back of my head. Maritza says, way to go. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I'm going to keep... next time I want to try to do 10 push-ups, but those were really hard, honestly. And Thomas says, I can't sit up hard on my spine. Thank you. Yeah, I have a lot of joint pain, and with the stress I've been having this last week, it's gotten worse. So I think stress does unfortunately play into it. And Ricky Lee says, I've been mostly beef the last 2 to 3 months. Yeah, I feel better on beef too, but my bank account doesn't. I need to look into this. The problem is they say don't buy the cheap ones on Amazon because they're not good enough. And the ones that Dr. Lisa Wiedemann recommend are a little bit out of my price range. Ricky Lee says, a little chicken here and there, sometimes bacon, not much at all lately. And Rick Charger Mopar's in the house. Thank you for tuning in, Rick. I appreciate it. Yeah. I eat a lot of eggs too. Internet problems. Is my internet out? Because I was having internet problems early in the week. Post in the comments if I'm having issues. I hope not. It looks like everything's working on my end, but let me know. Ricky Lee says, yeah, I know. When I eat beef now, I feel like royalty. Exactly. My tummy probably will be sore tomorrow, but that's okay. No pain, no gain, right? Okay, good. Angela says I'm fine. I have been having internet issues lately. They upgraded my internet, and ever since they upgraded it, it hasn't been working great. So, and Ricky says, Thomas, and that's with the meds. And Thomas says, no meds, Ricky. Peter says, my last BP was 120/75. I've been off all 3 BP meds for almost 3 years now. That is fantastic. Look at you. Ricky said, it took me 2 weeks to stop lisinopril, something I could have probably done sooner. Exactly. I am no longer on my BP meds. I haven't been in years, and my husband got off his. Although the doctor has some different opinions based on my CAC score results, which again, I'm not going to get into here. You all will have to tune in and watch the video. I will try to work on that tonight. Yay! So I inspired Angela to just do 8 incline push-ups using your desk, and you can do that. You have a desk, you can lean on it, a counter works, the wall. Now, the lower the incline, the harder it is. So I did step 4, which was really hard for me. So no wonder why I couldn't do a regular push-up the other day. I'm not ready for that yet. But every day is better than the day before, right? And Kurt says, good day, everyone. Just remember, eat meat, be happy. Thanks for tuning in, Kurt. Oh, and you guys could see it. I think I was being covered up, but I'm not sure. I'll try to do better at positioning the camera next time. But, yeah, you guys kind of got the idea of what we were doing, what I was doing. Rick says, came in for lunch. Woohoo! Iguana is on the menu for sure. Thomas says, I do them off my kitchen counter, sometimes the counter at work. My problem right now is squats. Maybe next video I will do some chair squats because I really need to strengthen my left hip too. My arms are real weak. Yes. Yes, Rick. All people contain positive and negative ions. Yes. My knees are kind of hurting right now. The other thing that's happening is I have pain running from my elbow all the way up to my fingers. I don't know if it's stress. I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm dumping oxalates again because I had similar things happening with my knees when I first started carnivore, so who knows? Ricky says I need a new knee. Arthritis, I guess, yes. And Sandy says, I miss Cass's videos. Is Cass no longer making videos? I have not gotten any notification from her in a while. Is she doing okay? Anybody know? Tylenol arthritis formula, unfortunately, it works temporarily. I do take a leave from time to time. Not every day. But when I'm having a severe bout of joint pain and I can't sleep or something, I will take 1 or 2 leaves. So, yeah, where'd she go? I don't know where Cass is. I really enjoy Cass, though. Rick says I cut way back on beef, and that could be because the price, I'm assuming, because it's expensive for me, too. And I've got some good news. My husband got approved. Well, he's in the process of getting approved for longer short-term disability. So that's going to help us financially because I like my beef too. Yeah, I've heard the red light therapy works too. I have too. I just haven't invested in it. And I'm not making any new investments right now because we are on a tight budget. So, hey, Brian Wickivore is here. Thank you for tuning in, Brian. You missed it. I just did some sit-ups and push-ups, and I don't know if I did them very well, but I did them. Ricky, internet problems. Okay, so it's not me. Loud and clear. Holly Springer's in the house. Welcome, Holly. And Ricky says, wow, you let them put you on 3 BP meds, Papa. I said no. Yeah, my doctor's trying to put me on some things too. Good night, Ricky Lee. Back to sleep. Night shift mode. Everyone have a beefy day. You're worth it. Those are words of wisdom. Kathy B. here's in the house. Hey, Amy, I forgot you were live. So I am trying to go live every week at 11:30 a.m. or 11:30 a.m. But I do... In 2 weeks from today, I will not be able to go live at 11:30. So I may have to adjust that because I have an audiology appointment for them to tell me how deaf I am, which I already know that I have hearing loss. So, Up to there's 30 people watching. Wow, thank you everybody. And Rick says my budget is so tight I did not have to file income taxes. That's, well, hopefully we've talked about some strategies for you, Rick. You need to implement some new things. And everybody, Rick has a buy me a coffee, so feel free to go to his channel. We all know he's Charger Mopar. I think it's Charger Mopar's World. And feel free to click on his buy me a coffee link and help Rick buy some meat. Thank you. I conveniently had the camera not in the best position, so you couldn't see everything. But I did do 10 and I did 20 sit-ups too. Maritza says I'm trying to get SSI but no luck yet. So what's going to happen with my husband? His doctor's approving him for the remainder of his short-term disability. Then we're going to go without a paycheck for a couple months and we're going to live off my income. And for him to be on my insurance is $800 a month. So that's $1,600 a month. And because he's been having health issues, we have to cough it up. So we're going to be paying $1,600 a month for July and August. And then in September, he turns 65. He'll be able to get on Medicare. So that's kind of the lowdown on that. Thank you, Lynn. We are taking a day at a time. That's all we can do is a day at a time, right? And I'm trying to increase my activity, my movement for several reasons. And I need to stay healthy, right? Thank you, Marie. So don't forget to hit that like button if you haven't done so already. I appreciate that reminder. Peter says, Ricky, I was on 3 BP meds for decades. BP was super high, stroke level, even with meds. Scary, yes. Okay. Emertech, yes. Honestly, Amy, start saving up for your red light. It was worth every penny. I will take that advice because I do suffer from joint pain, and most days I'm really good. But stress, I believe, plays a factor. If I accidentally eat something that's not on plan without even knowing it, I'm very sensitive to all of those things. Peter says, Rick and I are eating yogurt because we have had to switch to more pork and chicken. And yogurt helps to digest that lower quality meat. I didn't know that, Peter. My husband's eating plain Greek yogurt right now, too. But his has mostly been because he's on antibiotics, so we're trying to get those gut bacteria, increased. Lynn says, I will check into your red light therapy machine, Karen. I have a cheaper one from Amazon. I don't think it's doing anything yet. Oh, hold on. I got to shift my back, probably from doing the sit-ups. There we go. Yeah, and that's what Dr. Lisa Wiedemann says is the ones you buy on Amazon are crap. So I think it's worth it to save up and do a get a good one. Oh my gosh, am I at the end of the comments? I think they're still coming in. And Rick says Peter is correct. Yogurt makes a huge difference. I also have to, and actually Rick just said sauerkraut helps with energy as well. I have to finish up. I made some sauerkraut with the cabbage that we didn't eat for St. Patty's Day. So I got to finish up that video as well. And Thomas says, any advice on swollen legs and feet? Having trouble wearing my shoes, therefore walking and standing. Well, first of all, you have been indicating that you have eaten off plan, Thomas. So the first thing that I would try is to go as strict as possible, right? And that's exactly what Peter said too. So, and maybe even go stricter on carnivore, okay? See if that helps. If it doesn't help, if it were me, I would go get some blood tests done, just some basic blood tests, make sure, my kidneys are functioning, make sure nothing is wrong on the kidney or liver test. But my guess is the cleaner you go, that will help with the swelling. Where am I at? Sauerkraut helps with energy as well. I have some brewing in the kitchen, so maybe tonight I'll try to finish up that video as well. Holly says, I'm on SSI disability. My regular SSI does not kick in until 67. He doesn't need to talk. He's okay. So my husband is supposed to work until 67 technically, but you qualify for Medicare at 65 and you can take early retirement. So he'll get paid less, but I'm still working. So we still have my income, which is pretty decent. I mean, I'm not rich or anything, but between his Social Security and we just paid off our auto. So really the only bill that we have is the house and all of our monthly subscriptions and stuff like that. So we'll be okay. He is going to be getting a part-time job a couple of days a week too. So we'll have that income as well. Yes. And Peter said the same thing that I did. Great minds think alike, Peter. And Rick says a lion would eat partially fermented plant material from its prey. True. And Thomas says, I will do that. Awesome. Let us know how that goes, Thomas. And Kathy says, FYI, my local school district has free yoga, water aerobics, and so much for seniors, 55 plus. I'm just 53, so I'm going to have to look into that because I'm 50. But even if they allowed slightly younger people in for a small fee, I would pay that. Risa says, I have scoliosis and doctors over the years have told me not to do sit-ups. Probably not. They are bad for the spine. When I do exercise, which is rare, I do aerobics and weight work. And I think you can do crunches, maybe. Maybe not. I mean, always follow your doctor's advice on that. I do not have scoliosis, but my mother does really bad. Angela says, I still have problems with swelling legs even 2 years on carnivore. From time to time, my foot swells. Bye, Brian. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you. Thomas says, I will also try my vibration plate. That should help too. I don't have one of those. Risa says, good for you. You're getting the movement done. I have to be in the mood to do exercise. I'm never in the mood to do exercise. I hate exercise, but you guys are motivating me by tuning in every week to help me kick things up. And Peter also has scoliosis. I routinely do push-ups and sit-ups with no issues. And I think everyone's different. So, if you do sit-ups and you have problems, don't do them. If you do sit-ups and you're like Peter and you don't have issues, then, continue doing them. Rick says, I have never had a car payment. It's because Rick is smart and he pays cash for everything. And he also says, if I was not on, if it wasn't for property tax, I could live very well. And Peter says, I can't believe that only in 14 months I'll be eligible for Medicare. I think Peter's 64. Are you going to retire, Peter? Or are you going to keep working? I do too, Rick, but see, you exercise all the time. Your bike riding is exercise. All the work you do in your outside is, exercise. Everything you do every day is exercise. Now, the one thing that I'm really suffering with right now is I'm having this weird pain from my elbow all the way up through my right arm, my wrist, and my fingers. Okay, but I'm still attempting to do exercise with that. It's really weird. I've never had problems in here before, so I'm wondering, when I first started carnivore, my knees started hurting, but those are better now, right? So I'm wondering if I'm oxalate dumping and it's just showing up in this arm. So I'm just going to keep an eye on that. Yes, Kathy, this is the truth. Sometimes if you do something in a routine for a few days, your body gets used to it, and then you have to increase something. So eventually I'll move down the steps for the push-ups, right? I'll continue to move down the steps, and eventually I'll be able to do a regular push-up. So, and Rick says, true, I'm always lifting heavy objects, and a friend of mine reminded me as how much a roll of roofing paper and a bag of cement weighs. Exactly, and you can lift things around the house. Yesterday I carried 3 40-pound boxes of kitty litter. So, my dad is retired, almost 80. He's crossing guard part-time for schools. Exactly. There's things you could do to get paid or to make some additional income. Okay, guys, it's 12:29 and I am working my regular job today. So I appreciate you all turning in. As you know, I like to do the rolling credits. And thank everybody who showed up. So here we go. We're going to do the rolling. Ready? Have a great day, everybody. See you Sunday. Here we go.
Oh, yeah. Lights fade low, the baking's done. We rocked the stream and had some fun. Kids are rock stars in the rockin' crew. Stay strong, we're gonna roll with you. Yeah, we're gonna keep rolling on. We're gonna keep rolling on. Yeah, we're gonna keep rolling on. Yeah, we're gonna keep rolling on. Rockin' till the credits roll.